Welcome back. So now we have the key set up. So now we know that these guys bound together is the primary key. That's kind of what we made in the first Fluent API request right here. Next thing I want to do is I want to try and bind these two guys together by making something that explains these lines. And I think when we start reading this, it'll make sense. So let me start out by trying to type some code here and just think out loud. First of all, I'm needing the model builder. I'm going to talk about the entity, and let's just again focus on the customer address as the center point of everything. You can set this up in different ways, but let's focus about that. And that guy is going to have one address on him, right? So he has one. Again, notice that this is very readable. And here you can use a lambda expression to explain that the customer address, just like before, is going to be mapped together by using the address object, the actual address object like this. So that's kind of the has one relation. If we look at the drawing again, this guy has one address, and we're going to map that together with the address that I added inside the code, right? And let's just have a look. We also need to map it back. The address, I'm here right now because I made that Fluent API call, because I said address here has one. I'm actually here right now, and I want to map back that that has many customer addresses. So I can say with many with another call right here, and that's now we're on the address right here. So we can say address.customers. So now we map that back. The last thing I need to explain is kind of what is the foreign key inside the customer address that binds together with the customer. So we're going to do that by say has foreign key, and now I'm going to explain what the foreign key is. Again, we're working with a lambda expression here that says customer address has the foreign key, and how do we map this to the actual address? Well, that's with the address ID. So now we actually made a full relation mapping here, and let's just try and read it and then I'll end this video. Notice this, I have a customer address that has one address, right? So what I'm explaining to the system is when you want to map this later and you want to actually get the real object, where should you put that object? And you should put that object has one into the address and only have a single one available. And then I'm kind of doing it with many to read back the other way of the line, right? The other way of the relation. I say one address has a list of customer addresses. And I say right here with many customers. And these are the customer addresses that's on the address right here. Customer addresses, right? So that's kind of how we bound that back. And the last thing I kind of do is I say, well, I have an address ID, and that should kind of be the link between the address using a foreign key. So this is the foreign key to find the specific address. So I'll use the address ID to look up the address when I want to bind these guys together later on. That was it. It's very readable. The more you use this, the more you use the Fluent API, the easier it is to read your diagrams and just write them as code. Let's try another example. See you next time.